Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I hope you're well. It's another stinker today. Got my fan there ready. There's hardly a breath of air movement today, but supposedly we're due some thunderstorms this afternoon, evening-ish. I hope the storms come and I hope they clear the air, because honestly it's like, it just feels like wading through something thick every day. It's the humidity, it's crazy humidity at the moment. Anyway, never mind the weather report. All sorts of odds and ends to do today for me. Shortly I'm going to be going out, hopping on a bus going to the next village over. I might take you with me. I don't know how practical that will be. I have to, the solicitors that I've engaged, they're over in that next village, so I need to go and drop something off to them today. Oh, and while I'm there, pick something up from somewhere else. Anyway, that's later. For now, I'm actually in the kitchen, as you can see. It's with my computers. You can't see it, but at the moment I've got, this is my desk with my new PC, my new laptop on it. And next door, you're standing on it, is my sewing table that I brought in here with the old laptop on it. I should show you the old laptop actually, because the keyboard, you can't see any of the letters. All the keys just look black from, from wear and tear and use over the years. My old one I bought in 2012. Goodness me, so it's 12 years old. The motherboard was replaced 4.5 years ago, so it's got a new motherboard, but otherwise it's 12.5 years old. It was high time. Now, I just thought I'd share some of this little chat with you about these today, because I know there's others of you out there who are also terrified of what do we call it? I can feel my thing panicking rising. When it comes to tech, I know there are plenty of you who also, hate it, feel overwhelmed by it, panic about it. Yeah, so I thought I'd share what is possible, because when I bought the old one in 2012, that actually replaced one that I bought in 2009 when I started doing my nursing degree, because everything's done online these days. I didn't realise. When I bought this one, I bought it from Curry's, my old one. I bought it from Curry's, and they do a setup service. I think you pay them, so I'm going to have water again, sorry. You pay about, I can't remember, 30, 50 quid or something, and they put all this stuff on it for you. They kind of just do everything. You bring it home, open it up, press go. Do not collect £200. You get the gist. The previous one, the one in 2009, I bought with a friend came with me and then came home with me, and she did all the setup for me. Brilliant. This time, I was on my own. Shock horror. No setup, nothing. Now, transparency, truth. The parcel arrived. I didn't open it for 3 days. It sat in the living room for 3 days. Me looking at it and thinking, I don't want to open it yet. I want to delay the misery. I'm old enough and wise enough, I know myself well enough to know that doing all of this was probably going to cause me a bit of stress. But you know what? So, okay, acknowledge that this takes me out of my comfort zone. I don't like it at all. Really don't like it. Now, it's 4 days later since I opened that box, and I'm actually getting to the stage where I think I might be able to turn off my old one behind you. So there's hope there, isn't there? I opened the box. In the top there's a CD-ROM, and it said something like user manual, something like that, and I thought, oh thank goodness. got the laptop out. There's no CD-ROM slot in the laptop. I immediately messaged Paul, said, there's a CD-ROM instruction thing, but there's no CD-ROM slot. What do I do? And he said, Vivi, just turn the computer on. It will tell you what to do. Who knew? Thank you, lovely. So that's what I did. Turn the computer on, and it was asking me questions. Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Let's get connected to the internet. So it was quite that very initial bit. Honestly, it was dead easy because it was prompting me the whole time. So yeah, my advice to anyone who's new to this is, yes, we can do it ourselves. We don't have to pay someone. It will guide you. Now it got to a point where, it's sort of set up. Thing is, obviously this is much newer. It's using newer programs. It's Windows 11, that one was Windows 10. So everything looks different. And that, I don't like. I'm just going to say straight away, I'm so proud of myself because at no point in this process have I cried. At no point in this process, this is the key one for me, at no point in the process have I said out loud, I can't do it. I've kept saying to myself, I've repeated it, and I know honestly some people are going to think this is stupid, that this is being overly dramatic, but for me it's a big deal. I just kept repeating to myself, Vivi, just keep cool, keep your cool, you can do it. Just take your time, you can do it. So it's what I've done essentially is I did that initial setup and I probably spent about 4 hours or so, and I thought, right, let's see if I can, for example, get my YouTube up, because I'm trying to remember now, did I? Oh no, I didn't have a video coming out that day, but I did have a video coming out the next day, and I wanted to sort of think, can I do it? So I found my YouTube, but it was a completely different username and different email, and what had happened in the setup process, it said something like, do you want to import from your previous account or something? And I thought, oh yeah, brilliant, yeah, just bring everything over from that computer. So it imported, but it imported from, it seems like it imported back from 2012 or something, because all the bookmarks, and they're not called bookmarks on here, they're called favourites. I spent ages looking for bookmarks. Where are bookmarks? Where are bookmarks? Favourites. It's just different words. But everything that was imported, it was all like, there's tons of nursing stuff on there. All the bookmarks are academic papers that I was using for research. So I kind of realised when I'd gone to the YouTube bit, and I couldn't sign into my own YouTube because anyway, I won't get into too much detail because it'll be confusing, boring, both, I don't know. But I realised that error and I thought, right, how do I change it to the other email, worked out how to do that, and at that stage I'd had enough. I thought, no, I'm getting a little bit grumpy, I'm getting a little bit frustrated, I'm getting a little bit tired of this. As I say, it was about 4 or 5 hours, so I thought, you know what, that's a good start. It's a good enough start. And the great thing is, because, and I keep pointing there because it's behind you, because I've still got my old laptop and it still does work, it's just painfully slow. And when I say painfully slow, I mean maybe 15 minutes to get my emails to come up, 5 minutes to open an email. And that's what I was saying about how, people say, I don't know what you do in your day. So it's like, well, I spend an hour trying to read 4 or 5 emails. Anyway, because I've got it and because it works, albeit very slowly, it takes the pressure off getting this one set up. So the next day in the morning to do my work, I reverted back to the old one. It's like, I still don't want to touch this one. But each day I've come on to the new one and I've spent an hour or so tweaking and fiddling, the main thing was to get my bookmarks over here. Oh, the other big thing was the Norton, my old Norton with my password vault. You know, you have those vault manager things, because I don't know any. Who knows all their passwords? I don't. I mean, I literally use different passwords for everything. There's no one password. Anyway, so that was good, getting that going, and then also just how it looks, you know, the colour around the edges, and I've made it look as close as possible to my old one, because that there's a little bit of familiarity therefore. And then it just means I don't feel quite so daunted when I turn it on, and it looks so utterly different, so different. So yeah, I mean, I stayed calm and I thought, right, I don't like this, how something looks, go into settings, and then I realised, oh, I'm in the Windows settings, it's not made any difference. That's because this section that I don't like, this is when I'm on the internet, so it's Chrome, is it? I think it's, is it called Google Chrome? I don't know how, anyway, it's a different thing, so I thought, maybe that's got its own separate settings personalisation thing. I know, there's going to be loads of you out there who go, duh, this is really basic, Vivi. But you know what, for a lot of us, yeah, it may be basic, but if you've never done it, I've never ever set a computer up, ever. And I hate tech. Anyway, look, I'm almost there with it. I'm really, really proud of myself. A, for getting this far with it. B, for not freaking out and having a major meltdown. And I think that's been the key thing for me over the course of this week is, yes, there was that initial quite long chunk of time with it. But each day, just saying, right, just 1 hour spent on this. There's other stuff to do. I need to work, obviously, but spend an hour on it. Just get it sorted. So I think, so today, what I'm really glad about today, to do my work this morning, before the whole tinkering and bringing things over, I turned the new computer on, and I didn't even turn my old one on at all until just now to bring things over. So yeah, I think that's it. I think now I'm all systems go on this new one. Brilliant. Not coincidentally, also a few of you mentioned, it must have been right back at the beginning of the year when I was doing a budgeting video, and I was talking about that I pay for, what's it called? Is it called Microsoft Office, that Office package? Ostensibly because I need the Excel spreadsheets for doing my accounts. It's pretty much all I use it for, so excuse me. God, it's just, honestly, it feels like sitting under a kind of a wet, steaming duvet all the time. Oh, our friends in Florida, down south in Mississippi, you know what I'm talking about with this kind of, this claggy heaviness of the air. Anyway, sorry, digress. Yeah, so a few of you had mentioned, Vivi, don't buy it. You can download free stuff online. So I've got a note to myself I've already had a quick look to see about this free Excel type spreadsheet that's free to download. I'm certainly going to be converting to that because, you know, I've mentioned the income is going down and down and down. I'm having to cancel standing orders left, right and centre because I just can't afford to pay for things anymore. It's crazy. I know you may say, well, you've just spent 800 quid on a computer. Yeah, but that's from savings. On a day-to-day basis, all these bills are adding up and they're going up in price. So thank you to everyone who mentioned the free downloadable software that is similar to the Excel spreadsheet. I'm certainly going to be doing that. Someone else had given me the fantastic tip about Norton, about just buy a new Norton card, whatever you want to call it, package every year because it's 20 quid or something, isn't it? And over the years, because I'm so risk averse, there's been so much more added on each year. Like, if you don't get this bit of program, you are at risk, at risk, at risk, at risk. So I go, oh God, I better buy it, I better add that on. So it's at the stage now where it's about 160 quid a year on my Norton stuff. Are you kidding? So thank you everybody for mentioning that as well. Well, one person mentioned that that's what they do about just buying a new one every year annually. And other people had mentioned other things to try. So when that renewal comes around, excuse me, I think that's due to renew in the spring. Yeah, going to cancel all of that. So across that bit of Norton, I'll start to pay 20 quid, so that'll be 140. So that'll be about £200 saving a year. So about £18 a month. All these things add up, don't they? So thank you everyone for mentioning those things. But more than anything, today, I just wanted to say, you know what, I'm not going to say to people, oh, don't be scared, just give it a go. There's no point in telling you not to be the emotion you are feeling. You know, it's like when someone says, oh, don't be sad. Well, sorry, I am sad. You know, it's funny, isn't it? We say to people things like, oh, don't be sad, or don't be scared. We never say to people, don't be happy, don't be amused, don't laugh. They're all emotions. We're allowed to have all our different emotions, whether they're positive or perceived to be negative. So I'm not going to say don't be scared, but what I'm going to say is take a deep breath, because it's just possible you might be able to do it yourself. It's quite possible. I never thought I would be able to, but I think that's the big tip, is don't try to do it all in one go, because then for me, that would have been way too much. That would have been overwhelming, and that would have got my knickers all twisted up. But doing a little bit each day, and yeah, ready to go. And hang on a minute, the most important bit, the speed. So on that first day, I'd got it set up so far, and I thought I could feel my angst rising, and I thought, Vivi, you're going to have to just step away from it for today, come back to it tomorrow. I thought, hang on, before I do, let's see what it's like with the video uploading stuff. So most of my videos are, let's say they're a minimum of half an hour long. I set the camera up in the living room. I wasn't filming myself, and I just turned the camera on in there. I'm doing other stuff, whizzing around the flat, muttering to myself as I do, listening to the Olympics at the same time. And then I'd set the alarm. Okay, that's half an hour, the camera's been running. Great, I've got a half-hour video. No, you're not going to see it. It's just nonsense, just me at home doing stuff. Anyway, the point is, I then took up the camera, put it into the side of the computer. Now, to download it from my card, from the camera into the computer, actually took longer than it did on my previous computer, and I thought, are you kidding? This is taking longer. Oh no, have I just, wasted 800 quid? Have I just wasted 5 hours of stress trying to set the computer up? So, okay, just stick with it. Sorry, excuse me, you don't need to see the bottom of my water bottle. Anyway, that bit took longer, but then once it's on my computer, to then upload it into my editing software, need to sort that out as well, because at the moment it's a free to use version, it says, but you've only got so many tries and then you're going to have to buy. And I keep trying to tell it, I've already bought it, it's on that computer, I've got my transaction code. I can't find where to give it my transaction code to tell it that I've already bought this software. Anyway, digress. The bit when it goes up into the editing program was really quick, much quicker than the old one. So those two processes, camera, card into the computer, from then within the computer into the editing software, was about the same as my old one. One bit was longer, one bit was shorter. Did a pretendy little edit on it. Okay, edit that bit, chop that bit off. It's still around about a half-hour video. Now let's render it. So I press my button to render. This is the part where on my previous computer, a half-hour video would take anywhere between 2 hours and 4, sometimes even 5 hours. When I did my Christmas video, it was an hour and a half. It took 23 hours. Just trying to remember, I think it was like 23 hours to render. Oh, it was crazy, demanding. Anyway, so I pressed render, went back into the living room to do something, probably just to tidy up after myself. Came back after 5 minutes, and it was done. It was done. It was actually done. I don't know how quickly it was done, but I came back after 5 minutes to see how it was getting on, and it was done. I could not believe it. My jaw was like, oh. So that was on that very first day of getting it out. By then it was the evening. It must have been about 8 o'clock by then, because I'd spent the 5 hours tinkering. Then I'd had the half an hour or so in the living room filming, mucking about, and then the day. Anyway, I sat here, I was like, oh, thank goodness, that will make so much difference to my life, to my timings. And I thought, I don't, maybe it's because it wasn't a proper video and I wasn't properly talking, I'll try it again. But anyway, I was so pleased, and I thought, thank goodness. Everything else at that stage, I didn't like anything else on the computer. I didn't like how it looked. I didn't like the ergonomics of it. I pretty much hated everything. But I thought that one thing, that rendering speed, for no other reason, I'm so glad I have this laptop. Actually, that evening I thought, you know what, I'll keep the new laptop just for rendering videos, and I'll use the old one day to day because I like it better. But here we are, a few days later, and everything's on the new one. Happy. Gosh, that was a that was a long gabble, wasn't it? Right, time to go out, do these. I'm going to jump on the bus to go over. Then work has finished in the hallway. Hurrah! So I'm going to clean the hallway today, as in Hoover. That would be my job, and I think one of my neighbours, I think she said she can get a carpet shampoo, it looks like a vacuum cleaner, but it actually washes the carpet shampooer. I don't know what it's called, but she seems to think she can get hold of one. So I'm going to hoover it today to get the worst of the surface stuff off. I'll need to change. I'm not going to do the hallway in a nice frock. But yeah, so let's crack on. I'll take my camera with me now. I'll see who's about and what's about. I might feel a bit shy about getting my camera out, we'll see. But anyway, I need to, even if I don't show you guys what I'm up to, I need to go and hop on a bus, Gus. No need to discuss much. A little Paul Simon reference for you Paul Simon friends. Okay, see you shortly. Wee, taint off hot mum. Right, that's my 2 missions done and seen to in this neighbourhood that's on the other side of the railway line from where I live. Just missed my bus. There's another one. Well, there are all kinds of buses I can take back the way we came, but I actually want to go home a different way because it will take me to the top end of my little hood. Take me to my favourite second-hand bookshop. Gonna go and have a quick look, see if I can find anything, any little treasures for me to snaffle up to put into my shop. So, because I've missed that bus, I'm just slowly walking up to the next bus stop rather than just sitting at the bus stop. Boring. And I've just ducked in here. This is the little local recreation ground. I mean, literally 50 metres that way's the main road, but it's nice and quiet in here, or quieter. So yeah, going home a different route, going via the second-hand bookshop. Boy, oh boy, it's getting really hot. It's getting hotter and muggier by the minute. You can just see everyone walking up and down the streets and on the buses and everything. Everyone's just going, and everyone's saying the same thing. I don't want to complain about it because we waited so long for summer to arrive this year. I don't want to complain about it, but boy, oh boy. Anyway, let's hope the storms this afternoon, evening, clear the air a bit so that on our next sunshiny day, hopefully tomorrow, it'll be gorgeous, but just a little less humid. Right, I'm going to start walking again to the next bus stop and go and look at second-hand books. Yay! It's work. You know, it's for my shop. It counts as work. Yeah, right, Vivi. See you in a bit. Look at the colour of me. Blimey. There's only one thing for it. Either I go for a swim or God, it's gorgeous. I asked her what temperature. She said it's minus 24. How can it be minus 24 in the barrel? It'd be frozen solid, wouldn't it? Mind you, alcohol doesn't freeze, does it? Well, lower. This is a moment of delayed gratification. I was given some birthday money and with it from Rob. Thank you, lovely. I got myself my sweating official, what do you call it? My official Tour de France guide, you know, my lovely book of maps. And a couple of beers. Well, I'm finally having my birthday beer. It's right next to the bookshop. It'd be rude not to. And at our lovely old Greyhound. Right. Always a bit of traffic. I don't mind. I'm going to love you and leave you for now, though. I'm just going to quietly enjoy this pint. So she's getting noisy. Oh, no books. Absolutely nothing for me today. The shelves were almost bare. But never mind. I'm just going to sit and have my beer. It's a proper boy car. You know, one of those cars that... Just hear it. It's halfway down the road already. Anyway. Nice cold, ice cold. Cheers, everyone. See you back at the ranch shortly. Wow, oh, Scoragio. You know what? That was so lovely. I've actually ended up having both of my birthday pints from Rob. Thank you so much, gorgeous. I'm very good at delaying my gratification. It's, what's the date? I know, it's at least about a month after my birthday. But yeah, I'm glad I delayed the gratification. I was only gonna, sweating, I'm dripping. I was only gonna have one pint, but you know what, I was just sat there in the sun. Just felt really peaceful for the first time in ages. I think, you know, having got that PC, the laptop thing, more or less sorted, and I just thought, I'm going to stop. I'm actually going to stop today. I'm going to take a couple of hours out of my day, sit in the sun and enjoy a beer. And I haven't sat in the sun at all this year. I've hardly been out in the sun at all. So it's medicinal. I'm getting my vitamin D. Whoo. Yeah, it's it's going to sound weird. I find it quite hard to just sit and do nothing. I always think, yeah, but there's the list and there's that list and the other list and whoo. But yeah, every now and again I do need to stop, and that's fine if I stop in the middle of the day, because I can work right into the night and even into the early hours of the morning. But yeah, what a beautiful moment. 2 hours doing nothing, sat with my face turned up to the sun and topping myself up with ice cold beer. Yay! Right, anyway, that reverie is over. It's time to, where's my fan? Where did I put my, oh, there it is. It's time to get it out, down into the hallway. God, I hope that storm does something later. I don't know, it's about 4 o'clock now. The day's disappeared. I think the first thunderstorms are supposed to be here about 5. So what I'm going to do now, I was going to get changed to go and do some cleaning. There's no point. You probably can't tell on the camera, I'm soaked to the skin with sweat because it is so humid. And the problem with humidity is, unlike dry heat, we don't evaporate our sweat, which is how we cool ourselves. It just sits on our skin, runs down our bodies or goes into our clothes. So I'm going to just stay as I am, hit the hallway. At least I don't have to wash the banisters this month. So this month the cleaning is just hoovering. It'll probably take an hour or so. I'm going to be even more soaked by the time I've done it. So I'll get that done and then I'll plan later to have a cool, not cold, a cool bath. A, to get myself clean, and B, just to have that lovely kind of cooling sensation of water. So let me go and do that, and then we might catch up again at the very end of today. It's going okay though, it's going really well. I'm getting everything done that I wanted to do, and it wasn't 2 hours, more like an hour and a half. I've had an hour and a half of just absolute chill time. I call it chill time. I roasted. Loved it. Doesn't really show. First few spots. We just had an absolutely almighty, massive humdinger clap of thunder. Oh, it's going to rumble now. I'm not going to get anything dramatic, but yeah, such a huge clap. Let me just get you out of the wind. We look this way. It looks brighter here on camera than it does in real life. In real life, this looks black. I was actually just on the phone with Gary. We were both chatting. Now, where I am here, I'm going to point it like this. He lives down the road there, about 5 minutes away. We're on the phone together, and this almighty humdinger, I don't think I've ever heard anything like it in my life, clap of thunder banged through the air, and the pair of us on each of our phones screamed. I think we might have both dropped our phones too. And yeah, just I think that's the naughtiness over there. Yeah, honestly, it sounded like an explosion. It sounded like a bomb. It was really, really scary. And now it's nothing. It's absolutely nothing. I knew we were predicted some thunderstorms tonight. What time is it? It's about 6:30, 7. Sorry, I haven't looked at the clock. And we were forecast some what they say thundery showers. and we need it. We need something to break. Yeah, we're getting some fat drops. Look, these are the fat drops. Oh, fat drops. We could do with a really good. Oh, can you make out that lightning, the flashes? We actually really could do with a good storm, because the air for the last... Whoa! God's moving the wardrobe. Yeah, we could do with a good storm tonight to break the kind of stalemate we've been in for the last few days. And when I say stalemate, I mean that it's been unbearably humid. The other morning I was awake quite early. I wanted to watch something on the Olympics at 7:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, triathlon probably. And I went and looked at my... Oops, I'm just going to come back a bit from the window because I think the spots of rain are coming. Yeah, I looked at the various measurements, and I read a shocking... the humidity at... Yeah, it was about 7 o'clock in the morning, humidity at 93%. So even if it... Oh, turn your bloody car stereo down. So yeah, even when the temperature is a meagre 25, 26 degrees centigrade, which is... that's maybe only about 80 in Fahrenheit. Another flash, 85 in Fahrenheit. When you've got 93% humidity, you can't do anything. You can't do anything. It's like wading through a muddy curtain to get on with your day. Anyway, that's where we're at. If we get... Oh, it sounds quite far away now. Maybe the clap that not Richard, I'm thinking of Richard because I know that Richard wants to film storms. That clap that Gary and I heard. If I go this... Oh, flash bang wallop. If I go this way, you see... Oh, my fat finger's going to come in the way now, but do you see this dark tree? If you went underneath that dark tree, you'd get to Gary's house. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Is it going to be exciting? Probably is it heckers like. The camera's getting wet. Gordon Bennett. I don't think this storm has done much. It's about an hour later and it's still quite dark. I've actually had to put the kitchen lights on for this bit. Yeah, it still feels really muggy. I love that word. Is that very British? I'm not sure, but yeah, muggy as in you feel like you're sitting in a barrel of hot mud all day. Anyway, yes, so look, it's been a good day. A lot's done. There were the whole way is done. Yay! Really hot, sweaty job. Those clothes have been ditched. They're sitting in a puddle on the floor. Gotta have my cool bath shortly. But after I'd done the haul, before that storm, I mean, it rumbled for ages. It rumbled and rumbled. You know, you hear when you see the kind of war films or whatever, and you can hear the rumbling of field guns firing, but it's 50, 100 miles away. That's kind of how it sounded. It just kept sounding like these kind of barrages. But yeah, it hasn't broken this stickiness. Anyway, in the meantime, I've been back on the PC, which is where we started today. Just trying to explore a few more things. So some of the footage from earlier, I wanted to try a few things with, like speeding up with the bus ride. So I played with that a little bit, explore that section of the software, because it is a bit different to what I had before. Fine, explored it, that's good. But also found out that having downloaded footage from the card into the computer, unless I use it straight away, in other words, unless I immediately put it into my editing software, it disappears. So I put all this footage from today into the computer, couldn't find it, it disappeared. Anyway, I have now found it, and I think what that tells me is when I'm doing my download from the card in the computer, I need to tell it where I would like it to put it, if that makes sense. So, oh my fan's in the other room now. In other words, a little bit more progress with the PC today. Jobs done that I needed to do outside. Jobs done in the house that I needed to do, the hallway, and that glorious, glorious, glorious moment about, I don't know, was it about 3 o'clock this afternoon, of just stopping everything, sitting in the sun and sipping on a cold beer. Oh, it's been a long time. It was fantastic. Thank you once again. Thank you, Rob. So yeah, that's it, I think, in terms of what I'm going to share with you today. There are other things I'm going to be doing this evening and getting on with. But the first thing I'm going to do, once the camera is off, is take off this shirt and just go and stick my head under some cold running water. Boy, oh boy. Maybe we'll get another storm tomorrow. Here's hoping, but a proper storm that does the job it's supposed to do of, yeah, breaking this stalemate. So, lovelies, thanks for hanging out with me today. If you stuck all the way through, thank you. I will catch up with you. I'm not sure what I'm doing next, just continuing to do and be. So whatever it is, I will bring you along with me. Until then, please, if you can, stay cool. I mean, it's kind of impossible. In the UK, we don't have aircon. We don't have it in our homes, we don't have it in our buses, we don't have it in quite a lot of our shops. So we just have to deal with it and do a lot of ing and saying, cool, I don't want to complain. I don't want to complain because it was so late coming, but oh, could we have a bit? You know what? Temperature, great. Humidity, please, can someone turn the tap off? Please turn that tap off. Alright, gorgeosities, until the next one, please look after yourselves. Cheerio. I'm going to go and get in that cold bath.